Hi everyone. Welcome to practice problem ADJ02. This one's going to be about adjusting journal entries and the adjusted trial balance. Let's take a look. All right, here we go. I give you here a trial balance as well as 3 pieces of period end information. And I am asking you to prepare the adjusting journal entries and the adjusted trial balance for the quarter ended December 31st based on this information. Take a moment, pause the video, try doing this on your own, and when you're ready, come on back and I will walk through the solution. All right, welcome back. So I'm just going to take this in order, 1, 2, and then 3. I'm going to clear out our trial balance for a minute and give us some space to work. So first up, number 1 says $7,500 worth of services for which payment had been received in advance were performed during December. So when we say payment has been received in advance, what we're talking about there is our unearned revenue. Someone gave us money in advance that will eventually become revenue, but first we have to fulfill an obligation to get that revenue, to earn that revenue. So we call it unearned revenue. And so if we look back at our trial balance, we see that we have some unearned revenue of $27,500. What this piece of information is telling us is that $7,500 of it was performed during December. So we have to prepare our quarter end adjusting journal entries. Those are usually recorded on the last day of the period. In this case, we need to lower that unearned revenue because we have earned it, right? That unearned revenue is a liability. To lower that, we debit it. So we're going to debit unearned revenue by $7,500, the amount of it that we have now earned. And because we earned it, we now get to record service revenue. That's our credit for $7,500. And that's all we need to do for number 1. All right, now let's look at number 2. A physical count and valuation of the inventory on hand yielded a balance of $220,000. This is common for companies. Go out at the end of the period, count your inventory on hand, value it, and make sure that whatever you're reporting for inventory on your balance sheet matches what you actually have. And if it doesn't, make an adjustment. Now, in this case, it told us that the physical count showed 220 on hand. Let's go back and check our trial balance. Look at that, inventory already valued at 220. Because that's the case, we don't need to adjust anything. And therefore, for number 2, I'm just going to put NA next to it because we don't need an adjustment. Brings us to number 3. The note payable signed October 1st has an annual interest rate of 10% and it's payable every September 30th. All right, lots to digest in that one. But let's start right at the beginning. The note payable. Let's take a look at that trial balance again. We have a note payable of $155,000. So I'm going to go ahead and write that value down here. $155,000. It tells us that we signed the note on October 1st. Now, if we think about that in terms of timing, these are quarterly journal entries that we're making as of December 31st. So October, November, December. So this note has been outstanding for the entire quarter. All right, so that doesn't throw any kinks in the works. It has an annual interest rate of 10%. So I can take my $155 borrowed amount times 10%. That gives us $15,500. That is the annual interest. But remember, we are recording only the interest that we have racked up for this quarter. We're not recording a full year's worth of interest in our adjustment here. And so I'm going to move this up just a little bit, and we're going to do another multiplication by the partial year that has gone by, 3 out of 12 months, 1 quarter. And here I'm going to need my calculator. 15,500 times 3 out of 12 gives us 3,875. And this is the quarterly interest. All right, that brings us back to making our adjusting entry. The adjusting entry will be done at 12/31. We have to decide, are we the ones incurring a cost because of this note, or are we the ones benefiting from the note? Now, since it's a note payable, that means we owe money. We're incurring cost, interest expense. And so that's our debit. Interest expense for this quarter's worth of interest, $3,875. So what's the credit? Well, that's where the last piece of information in the problem comes in. It says that the interest is payable every September 30th. So notice October, November, December. September 30th is not within that quarterly window. We haven't paid any of this interest yet. Therefore, we have to create a liability for it, interest payable for $38.75, and that is our full adjusting entry for number 3. Notice in both examples, you have one income statement account. Whoops, sorry, I circled the wrong one in entry number 1. You have one income statement account, and you have one balance sheet account. That is the typical way adjusting entries look. All right, let's move on and fix our trial balance now. So on the right here, I have our original trial balance. On the left, I have carried over all of the information from the original trial balance that has not changed. If it wasn't impacted by an adjusting journal entry, it's just going to stay the same. So things like cash, things like equipment, things like the note payable, all of that's the same, okay? But what we do have now is we have potentially a different balance in our inventory. However, remember, our physical count showed that our number was actually right, and we didn't record an adjusting entry. Therefore, that's actually not going to change either. We have a new liability that we created called interest payable that I'm going to insert here with the rest of the liabilities. So interest payable, and that was for $38.75. $38.75. We also earned some of our unearned revenue. Specifically, we earned $7,500 of it. So that unearned revenue is going to go down. It was $27,500. Now it is only $20,000. Because we earned some of that unearned revenue, we also have to update our service revenue number to reflect those new earnings. So service revenue was $15,000, but now it is going to be up by another $7,500. So that puts that at $22,500. And then finally, related back to this interest payable. Remember, we had a new liability, interest payable, because we incurred the cost of interest, which gave us the interest expense account, also at $38,750. All right, so that's all we've done. We kept everything that was unchanged from the original trial balance. We updated numbers where applicable, numbers that already existed. We just updated to reflect their new balances. And wherever we had to add new accounts, we went ahead and added in new accounts. All right, last step of the adjusted trial balance. You want to make sure your debits and credits are still equal to each other once you make all of these adjustments to catch any errors that may have occurred. So I'm going to pull out my calculator. I'm going to do the debits first. $89,500 plus $220,000 plus 50 and 48 is 98 plus 187,000. I'm just shorthanding numbers here for simplicity. Assuming I didn't mess up in my shorthanding, we are at $598,375 on our debit side. Let's go ahead and check our credit side. I've got $165 plus our $38.75 plus another $170,000 plus 37 plus 220,500. Whoop, missed one there. Let's just, before I screw this one up, let me just 200,000 plus 22,500. All right, and I also come out with $598,375. So debits and credits equal each other. We've gotten through it without any obvious mistakes, and our adjusted trial balance is done. All right, that's it for this practice problem. Hope you found it helpful, and I hope you join me for another.